And just like that, boy, we back, man. You know, and homie, there is always a task to be completed. So the next time that you're sitting around just like, man, I can't wait for this day to pass by. I ain't got nothing to do. I wish I had this and I wish I had that. Homie, there's a lot of things that you have that you don't got to wish for because you currently got them. So, man, you got to sit back and understand that on so many different levels, you're going to have so many different devils, homie. You're going to want to win, but there's going to be people sitting around on the sideline just hoping for your losses. But that is something that you shouldn't even be worried about, or something that you shouldn't even necessarily be discouraged about, because people that are waiting on you to lose have lost themselves. No. People that are waiting on you to lose have lost themselves. So a lot of people get over worried and then they start to hurry, meaning that they start to feel like they got to show that they're winning in life. Homie, the results will always speak louder than what you try to show somebody, right? So when I'm sitting back and I'm listening to people that try to convey a reality based upon materialistic possessions, I say to myself that it really won't get that far, homie, because each and everything that you think you will obtain to get the Keishas to be quiet, they will always talk about something that you don't have. They don't even know how many eggs are left in the carton that they have in the refrigerator, but they know how many followers you have on Instagram or whatever social media platform that you have. So when I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, man, a lot of people value the opinions of randoms too much. There's no formulation, there's no aura, there's no real energy, there's nothing that they bring to the forefront that's valuable. So what you have to understand is, homie, everybody that's speaking, they ain't saying anything. What you do on a day-to-day basis defines you. Their criticisms, their opinions, whatever the case may be, that does not define you unless you believe it, homie. You see, you got to have the faith of a mustard seed. The only voice that you should be listening to whenever it comes to reasoning is yourself and the Most High. And the Most High, I would say, is way more mandatory. You know what I'm saying? All these other Keishas that want to sit around on the sidelines, they're optional. Don't nobody talk to them, and that's the reason why they want to talk to you. They don't know how to cook a solitary meal to prepare for themselves or any of their family members. They get, the lowest quality amount of food for their pets. They don't even think that they should put in the time, love, and affection and energy with them. So if they're not able to give an optimal experience to the people in their real life, why do you think that their criticisms are going to be appropriate or optimal within a comment section? You know what I'm saying? So that's the reason why I just sit back and I absolutely laugh, because they have nothing to talk about. Every time you see them comment, there's nothing within the contents of their comment that has any wisdom, homie. So really, they're just saying a whole bunch of nonsensical things, all in the name of trying to be heard. They want to be heard. They want to be entertained, because guess what? All they live for is entertainment. Yeah. No, they want to be entertained because all they live for is entertainment, homie. They have a scrolling short form content type of, receptor mentality. They watch something for a couple of seconds and then they're no longer satisfied. They have to watch something else. And this is just, a whole new lifestyle that's being ingrained even in the youth of today. They are not sufficed by anything. They are not okay with anything. They always feel like they want more, because nothing that they temporarily watch actually has any substance, right? So I say, man, we're living in a world where there's a lot of fast food content, music, whatever the case may be. And that's the reason why people are always going from one thing to the next, right? And, they're not actually going to have any discipline. They're not going to be able to follow up routine with anything that they swear that they would like to become better at, whether it's a jiu-jitsu gym, whether it's basketball, whether it's tennis, whether it's, becoming a content creator or a musician. They're not actually going to be consistent with any other process, because they always feel anxious, because they're sitting back thinking, I want to do this, I want to do that. They have no concentration, homie. And that's the reason why whenever I speak, I understand that they can't even concentrate and hone in on the message that I'm speaking, because they have no attention span. They can't reflect anything that they actually don't have. The only thing they can project is characteristics and traits that they actually possess. You know what I'm saying? Get that Keisha up out of the comment section. So make sure each and every single one of you send me a message immediately on TikTok, because after this episode is over relatively soon, I will be sending everybody my Snapchat. That is the best way to talk to me. Stay up to date with the content, whether it be the music, the game, whatever I choose to release. That's the best way you can stay up to date with it, man. But, we need more love, but the love starts with self. A lot of people don't love themselves. They don't even like the image that they see whenever they look into the mirror. You know what I'm saying? They get in their car and they're automatically mad. You know, they're always living for the right now, and not even the right now as far as just being mindful, but they're so reactive, homie. That's the reason why they can't come up with any great innovative ideas. You know, all they want to do is vicariously live by watching other people live life. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Michelle? Yeah, shout out to all the ladies in the chat, man. You see, there's a multitude of different guys that want to leave comment sections and try to get my attention by saying the most insane things. But I really do appreciate whenever I look down there and I see some ladies, homie. Yeah. One thing I like is I like the presence and the essence of the women, homie. You see, there's a lot of guys out there in 2024 that want to complain about today's women, this, that, and the third. But I really appreciate their essence and their presence. You know what I'm saying? And get that Keisha up out of my comment section. You see, they only say things that they actually are. So that comment right there was the best definition of a representation of what you're doing. Yeah, so I appreciate the presentation, homie. And that's the reason why we're going to keep on elevating, homie. Listen, you might have gained one follower. You might have got one play on your song. You might have got one sale on your website. You might have got one, statistical metric and whatever it is that you do out there. I want you to understand that the number one always has more value than zero. So if you did something today, it's better than those out there that did relatively nothing. People are always going to tell you what you don't do, what you haven't done, and what you used to be like. But homie, guess what? They don't even know who they are right now. So they can tell you about your past. They can somewhat, think that they can predict your future. But they can't tell you who you are currently because they never knew who they were in the first place. Yeah, they can't tell you who you are currently because they never, ever, ever knew who they were in the first place, homie. You see, when the internet is just a place where you give game, wisdom, and quality content, you don't worry about what people say. You come here to speak what you have spoke, and then you leave. You see, the best thing that I like about Jesus and Chosen is wherever he went, he had an objective. And whenever he did what he did, he left. He didn't sit around and listen to the opinions of the Sadducees and the Pharisees and everybody that wanted to critique the way that he was giving out these parables. He just said what he said, and then he went on ahead with what he was doing. Get that Keisha up out of there. So a lot of you give your message and it has a lot of wisdom. It resonates with the people that's supposed to resonate with. But then there's, a certain archetype of people who want to complain about it. And for some reason, you value their critique more than the people who appreciate you. Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. You know what I'm saying, Michelle? Yeah. And when I say celebrated, I don't mean people that just yes man, yes woman. No, but people who appreciate you for the great things that you do, the great things that you aspire to do, and just, the leaps and bounds that you're making in your progress of life. When you have people that are always miserable, always have a negative tonality whenever they're speaking with you. You ever just have, certain types of conversations with people, and it seems like the minute that you want to speak to them, they're looking at you, but it's like they don't even want to hear you. There's just this unspoken tension and this level of frustration that is already yelled before you even said your first word. Get away from those types of people. Get that Keisha up out of there. You didn't even know what to say, so you just started typing random letters. Look how I bring it up out of them, man. Look how I bring it up out of them. They don't even know what to type, so they just write anything. Oh, man, I got to let it out. They're letting that Keisha up out of their belly. They're going through that process, man. Yeah. No. So shout out to all the Keishas that don't know what to say, so they just commenting random things anyway, man. Listen, man, the game is to be served. And that's the reason why I got y'all focused, homie. Yeah, it ain't even 12. It ain't even 1. But I got y'all sitting around, listening to every word that I say. And here's another thing. The people that have negative critiques consistently have negative critiques. But what you have to understand is the key topic of what I just said. Consistent critiques, meaning that they consistently watch you. And if anybody consistently watches a show, what does that make them? Chat, I want to see if you guys are able to understand what I'm trying to say here. If anybody consistently watches a show, what does that make them of the show? I want to see if the chat can give me some game here. A fan, right? So that's what you have to understand. They're fans. You know what I'm saying, Corso? You know what I'm saying, Pinnacle? You know what I'm saying? To get that Keisha up out of my chat. So that's what you have to understand is, homie, you're sitting here like, man, the haters, man. They're not haters. They're fans. You see, when people really want to be a part of a show, but instead they're left in the crowd, that's the reason why they voice their frustration aloud. And these types of people, they won't even say anything in person. They just say anything on social media because they feel empowered by their anonymity. They feel empowered by their anonymity, meaning that they are hiding behind an account that has no following. You know what I'm saying? They follow more people than the population of the entire earth, and they have something to say, but you don't know who's saying it. So since they can be anonymous, that's the reason why they're always talking shit. You know what I'm saying? So what we do is what they do, absolutely nothing. We do what we do and they do absolutely nothing. Get that out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? But look though, I'm getting ready to bring Kane up here. If you claim to be a supporter of mine, I need all of you to immediately go follow Prince Kane. Once I bring him up here, I know some of you are sitting around saying, man, maybe one day I can get up on the show and talk to him. Absolutely not. The only guest that I allow up on my show is Prince Kane. So you can be mad about it, you can be sad about it, but guess what? Like Jay said, y'all better follow Kane like nothing ever happened. Yeah, shout out to Stunner. Shout out to Jay. Man, shout out to all my people. I see y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I know you see me. Yeah, and I know you hear me. Yeah. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and bring Prince Kane up on the panel, and I'm going to... Yeah, man. Let's see my guy, man. He loading in right now. Yeah. Oh, man. Here it go, man. Here it go. So, look, you already know what time it is, man. I'm finna bring Prince Kane up on the big screen and I'm gonna let him speak what he speak. Make sure each and every single one of you send me a message right now on TikTok. So immediately after this episode, I can send you my Snapchat. That is the best way to talk to me, know when I'm going live next, and to stay up to date with the content. So without further ado, the man of the hour, the man of the year, Prince Kane is here. So with that being said, man, without further ado, let me bring my guy up on the big screen. Yeah. Kane, what you gotta serve today?
Y'all already know what time it is, man. We back here to serve some more game on the ground for them hungry hounds that just get up the pound and are ready for the next round. So with that being said, man, a lot of y'all, when y'all don't be feeling like doing anything, when y'all, whether you feel sick, whether you just feel like you don't want to do nothing, whether you feel tired or whatever the case may be, y'all be throwing everything off to the side. Oh, I'm going to call in from work today because I don't feel good. Oh, I'm not going to post on social media because I don't feel good. Oh, I ain't going to do this. I ain't going to mow the lawn because I don't feel good. Y'all only be doing stuff when you feel like doing it, when you feel good. You gotta learn how to do stuff even when you don't feel good, because that's the only way that you're gonna reach success. Because success don't come You ain't gonna get success just by doing things when you feel good. You're gonna reach success by doing things when you feel good and when you feel bad, when you don't feel like doing it and when you feel like doing it. You gotta keep going no matter what. That's the only way you're gonna reach the end of the tunnel, the top of the mountain. That's the only way you're gonna see the light at the end of the cave, man. You just gotta keep on going, even whether you feel sick, whether you got the flu. I don't care what you got. Whether you broke a bone in your body because you done fell off your bike or you got in a car crash or whatever. You gotta just keep on going, bro. I'll never forget somebody said this one time. And shout out to the TG, y'all already know. He said one time that there's this woman who was with her mother and they were in a car and they got in a car crash and her mother passed away by way of having something removed off her body. I'm sure you can know what it means. And whenever she had finally got home back to her dad, I think he was in a different country. Her dad looked at her and said, "Get a job. Just go back to work. Start making some money." Didn't tell her, oh, well, this, that, and the third. Didn't, he said, just get a job, bro. You got to get a job. You got to keep going. Life goes on. And that's 100% facts, bro. Life goes on whether you feel good or not. So that's why you just got to keep on pushing and keep on trucking.
Dude, that was 100% facts, and that was full of exponential game. I tell people they allow these different terminologies when it pertains to emotions to engulf who they are as a person. We all feel many different types of ways, and I think the greatest way where we can relate as individuals is all throughout pain, because we have all endured pain in many different circumstances. But what you have to understand is you can't forget that you're Spider-Man just because Venom is in your presence. It might want to overtake you, but you know who you are. You cannot let these negative, not convenient emotions consume you. We all go through storms, but what you have to understand is storms have a duration. They start and they end. Even if you look at biblical times, you know what I'm saying? Even the greatest of the greatest storms have all passed. So I just tell people, homie, if you want to be the greatest person that's taking part of a race event, like if you're in a car and you're driving, you can say you want to win so much, but just because you don't feel like pushing the pedal, that's not going to help you win. Imagine going around like the Daytona 5000 and you're driving around and you're saying, man, I want to win, but I don't feel like pushing the pedal. So if I stay at the finish line, it'll look like I already... That's the definition of insanity, homie. You say you want to succeed, but you show that you just want to be there, homie. You show that you really don't want to be there, homie. Like, when I'm sitting around and I'm thinking about the most recent Jake Paul fight, that dude that came there, he had so many wins and he had relatively low losses. Yes, he might not have been a popular boxer, but he has, a skill set that has been curated off of endless amounts of different matches, whether it be amateur or whatever. But when he got in that ring, he said he wanted to win, but he showed that he just wanted a paycheck. A lot of you say you want success, but really, no, you don't. You just want what comes with success. You don't want success. You want the byproduct of success. And that's the reason why you truly never obtain it, because guess what? Even if you got it, you couldn't retain it. You want the belt, but you can't keep it. We got a bunch of Sean Stricklands out here. Yeah. What you got to say about that, Kane?
Yeah, it's 100% facts, man. I've always said that people they'd rather have success fall in their lap instead of go work hard for it. The reason why they want that is because, like you said, they want the benefits of that what comes with success. They want all the money, the fame, whatever the glory, whatever the case may be. And but they don't want to have to work through it. They don't want to have to go through all the hard times, the tough times. They don't want to have to suffer through all the you don't. They don't want to have to go through the deep waters. They don't want to have to swim through the deep oceans, the dark. They don't. They're scared of the waves that are crashing over them. They would rather walk around and get to the other side and have the benefits of success instead of swimming through the deep water and getting through to the other side, instead of crawling through that tunnel and seeing the light and getting to the other side, or climbing up to the top of that mountain and being able to climb down the other side and getting to success. They'd rather go around all the obstacles instead of go through them and go over them. And that's 100% facts. And that's why so many people these days fail, because they're not willing to go through obstacles.
Yeah, that's 100% facts, bro. Like, they don't want to actually complete. They would rather the race be just a straight and narrow path where it's like we're just running straight ahead and we know where the end point is. They don't want obstacles. They don't want hurdles in life. They don't want all these different variables that will change the course. They want a straight and narrow course to be able to just go down a trajectory to where it seems feasibly easy. But whenever they actually have the hardest map on Mario Kart, I'm not going to say it just because of this app, but if you've played Mario Kart before, you know exactly what map I am talking about. That is so annoying, so frustrating, and it can be very, very strenuous to complete. But if you can complete that map, dude, all the other ones that people are struggling with on a day-to-day is literally not a challenge to you, because you dealt with all the roundabouts. You dealt with all the hamster wheels of, different little circles and stuff like that. You were upside down, you were sideways, you were up in the air. You dealt with all these different variables. So the things that people complain about on a day-to-day basis will absolutely be nothing to you, because you have raised the difficulty. So now the low levels of battles that people endure on a day-to-day basis, you're just able to flow through. It doesn't mean that you don't feel those emotions, but you know that you're going to get through it, because guess what? It's a straight and narrow path. Literally, this is the start and this is the end point. You know what I'm saying? When you understand the course, it's way easier to complete it. But when you don't understand, you will lose to understand it more. So eventually, inevitably, you will complete it. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, man, we're going to go ahead and transition to another topic. So, man, I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, homie, all you parents out there, you can no longer be passive parents in 2024. Nowadays, people are thinking, man, well, if I get YouTube for kids and if I do this and I put a passcode, homie, what you have to understand is, as kids, when we were kids, we understood how to be able to play the video game when we were grounded. We understood how to get a phone even though we were grounded at home from one of the homeboys at school. We understood how to find ways around these little low-level parental obstacles that were put in place to stop you from said things. But this is actually not a good thing, because parents didn't go to the next level to make sure you were doing what you were supposed to do, because they could do one or two things. They could unplug the system and take it away, but you would just find it somewhere else. Now, parents are living in a financial status, or maybe it's a household status, where they don't have their significant other because the dude that they decided to lay down with wasn't ready to be a father. He's still out here wanting to be a boy, doesn't want to take care of his responsibilities. So now you are stuck working, relentless hours for a job just to be able to keep a roof over you and your children's head. But what I will tell you is, being passive, whether you're a single parent or you are co-parenting, or whether you have both parents in the household, is no longer optimal, because now we are living in an age where the powers that be are no longer just trying to, do the sound of freedom method to be able to corrupt the youth. They're doing it by putting certain narratives in the children's shows. I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, homie, if you just give a tablet to your kid and you let them go about their business, you're not parenting. If you just give them a Nintendo Switch and let them go about their business for the rest of the day, you're not parenting. If you just put them in front of a TV or iPad and you let them go about their business for the rest of the day, you're not doing your job. Because what does a kid have business being in business for. They shouldn't be a part of a business, being an employee. They are a kid. You are the parent, not the homeboy. We're living in a time where everything's so sensitive to the point to where people think that they have to be friends to their parents rather than the decision makers. And that will lead them to seeing things, hearing things, and adapting ideologies that they're not supposed to even be paying attention to, you know, coming up with these thoughts, having these paradigms, also known as ways of thinking. And it's just like, bro, you can no longer be passive. You can't even be passive if you want success. Back in the day, there was mom and pop businesses where you could just do that, you know, through a regular calendar year and you would be able to provide for your family. But no, these big, you know what's are taking over everything. So now that you have a couple of you know what's running everything, it's now not so much of a broad experience to where you have many different inputs. You have certain narratives that every you know what wants to push, and they push it, but it's up to you to pull away from the devices that are trying to push things upon you. So guess what, homie? You got to be active in life, period. You got to be active in life spiritually. You can't just sit back and say you believe in something, man. You got to show it. And if you want to be a parent, you got to show it. You can't just say you are just because you laid down and did the do. Anybody can do that. And you know the people that do that the most? Po-mup. So with that being said, man, I'm finna pass the mic over to Kane, and I'm gonna see what he has to say about that topic.
Bro, so many people these days sit around and think that they can just hand their kids off to the tablet, off to the game system or the TV or whatever the case may be, and they can go off and do whatever they want. They think, oh, well, the games will babysit my kids, the tablet will babysit my kids, TV will babysit my kids for me, so I can go out and do this, that, and third, and be a degenerate. It don't work like that, bro. It never will work like that. It won't. It didn't work like that before. And it definitely ain't gonna work like that now. Especially today, like what you said. Because kids these days, bro, they know how to find loopholes. We all knew how to find loopholes. Whether it was to watch something we wasn't supposed to watch, to play something we wasn't supposed to play, or to listen to music that our parents didn't want us to listen to. We always found loopholes on how to do all that stuff. That's why I always say it's important that you be involved in your kids' everyday life. Not just, ooh, what'd you learn in school today? Not just making them food, not just putting clothes on, but be involved in their activities as well. Because if you're not involved, next thing you know, your kid's gonna be doing what them kids was doing in that school that just got exposed when the kids was doing what they was doing to them people. Um, it's important that you remain in your child's life. It's important that you monitor what they're watching and what they're listening to and what they're playing. And they're not going to understand why you're telling them, no, don't do this and don't do that because they're kids. But once they get older and they start realizing more and more the type of stuff that there was going on, then they're going to realize, dang, man, that's why my mom or my dad never let me do this or do that. They will understand in time. But until that time comes, you have to make sure that you are letting them watch what they're supposed to watch or listen to what they're supposed to listen to or play what they're supposed to play instead of letting them do all the stuff that they don't supposed to do, because guess what, that's how programming happens. It's called mind control, and they do it through technology. And that's 100% facts. They're programming people to think and act a certain way by way of TV shows and games and music and this, that, and the third. So if you're not constantly monitoring your kids, guess what? That social media is monitoring your kids. That TV show monitoring your kids. That music's monitoring your kids. And guess what? They're monitoring them in a way that you don't want them to, because now they're gonna raise your kids to be rebellious. Next thing you know, your kids are going to start acting out in a way that they don't supposed to act out, and you're going to sit around and wonder why they're doing this, that, and the third. Once you find out it's that what they're watching, what they're listening to, what they're playing, guess what? Now they've already got that ingrained, so it's going to be a bigger uphill battle to get that out of their mind. That's where you got to stay on top of it.
Dude, that's 100% facts. I literally couldn't have said it better. Now we're gonna transition to another topic. I'm absolutely excited for UFC 299 this weekend, dude. Sean O'Malley really gets the chance to prove to us if he got lucky with that last match against Aljo or if he's a true champion. I always tell you guys, there's a difference between wanting to obtain something versus being the person who wants to retain something and maintain something. The greatest champions are not the ones who talk the most and won the belt. The greatest champions are the ones who talk the most or didn't talk at all, won the belt, and kept the belt, right? Say whatever you want to say about Israel Adesanya. He kept that belt. Say whatever you want to say about Anderson Silva. He kept that belt. My favorite fighter, Colby Covington, guess what? He didn't keep the belt. So you got to be able to talk the talk and walk the walk, homie, because in order to be a champion, it's not about the people who tell you that you are king, because first of all, Christ is king. Being a champion is about winning, continuing to win, because a lot of the reasons that people don't have these massive title reigns is because they lose that hunger once they're fed. They lose that hunger once they're fed. But what you have to understand is, homie, whenever you want to be successful, you have to always use the times, the emotions, the vibes that you have whenever you were your most hungry, because that is what always will keep you humbled and will always keep you in remembrance to continue to endure. Whenever you're thinking about backsliding, whenever you're thinking about, acting like Ryan Garcia all over social media, think about Jesus Christ. That's the reason why I tell people all the time, man, one of the greatest shows that you could actually watch is Chosen. And I chose that show, and ever since then I haven't went back, homie, because when you have Christ in your corner, there's not a better cornerman that you can have. David Goggins wouldn't be a better cornerman. Alex Pereira wouldn't be a better cornerman. When you got Christ, our Lord and Savior, in your corner, there's nothing that the opponent can do to throw you off of your game plan, and you will retain that belt. But a lot of you are being given over to the fortune, being given over to the fame, being given over to the vanity. And that's the reason why you cannot maintain and retain your composure, your resolve, and that's the reason why all your problems aren't resolved and you're steadily being solved, because you're an easy puzzle. So with that being said, Ken, what you got to say about UFC 299, and then, obviously commentary on everything that I just said?
Yeah, no, that's 100% facts, man. We're gonna see if your boy has what it takes to do what he's supposed to do. If he does, great. If he don't, he don't. Like I always say, man, when it comes to UFC fights, only whenever it comes down to certain fighters, I really don't care who wins or who loses. I'm just there watching it to see who gonna get whooped and who ain't gonna get whooped. That's the type of entertainment that I like watching, is people getting whooped in the ring. Um, Unless it's like Alex Pereira or Sean Strickland or Volk or one of the fighters, I really won't care. They gotta really catch my attention for me to be like, dang man, I want him to win. You know, and it's like there's more than one way to catch somebody's attention. It could be in the ring or it could be out of the ring. It could be the way what they stand on. It could be the way they carry themselves. It could be their interaction with people. There are multiple different ways to catch somebody's attention. So yeah, man, if when it comes to UFC fights, if you want me to vote for somebody who I think wants to win, they got to catch my attention. Otherwise, I'm just there to see who's gonna go sleep. But on the other hand, man, a lot of people they they get they get a taste of the food and they forget where they came from and they start acting a fool. And the reason why they fall all the time is because they forget where they came from. Most people these days, whenever they get a taste of success or whatever the case may be, or whatever it is that they're trying to do, when they get a taste of it, they start acting a fool. They want more of it, more and more and more and more and more. It's like doing certain things in life that you don't supposed to do, whether it's snow, you know what I mean? But certain things like that, you try it once, next thing you know, you start wanting it more and more, and you start doing things that you wouldn't normally do more and more for it. A lot of people are like that with success. They get obsessed with it. It's just like what Eminem said in one of his songs. He said, it became his you know what, and he just couldn't quit. And that's 100% facts. He wasn't lying. So many people get stuck on that feeling, chasing that feeling of yeah, I made it, to the point where they forget where they came from, and then they fall, and they turn around. And they wonder why they can't get back there, because you done forgot where you came from. When you fall like that, that's God humbling you. Look, bro, don't forget where you done came from, because I can send you right back. A lot of people sit around and think that because they get famous or whatever the case may be, or they succeed where they're trying to succeed at, They become bigger than God, and you can't become bigger than God. You can't become bigger than something that's already bigger than yourself. And that's 100% facts, not opinion. A lot of people think that, oh man, you see, this is the thing. People worship other people. People worship other celebrities. People worship other fighters. People worship all types of things, and they get let down by them a lot. And the reason why they get let down by them is because they're worshiping something that is bound to let you down at some point in life. Human beings are bound to let you down at some point in life. So when you're worshiping somebody, whether it's Eminem, whether it's Mike Tyson, or whatever the case may be, they gonna let you down at some point, and that's just 100% facts. That's where you got to put your faith in something or someone that will never let you down, like God, like Jesus Christ. He ain't never let nobody down. He did what he's supposed to do, and he still do what he's supposed to do, and that's 100% facts.
Most certainly, absolutely. So, with that being said, bro, do you have any topics that I'm finna get you up out of here because nobody asked who let you down. I'm finna let you down about the chat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Get up out of here. So, Kane, you got anything that you would like to bring to the forefront that you would like to speak about pertaining to whatever topic that you have in mind?
Not really, bro. I think we covered all of it. Make sure you share with your friends, your families, members, aunties, grands, and everybody else that you know. I don't know if you going live later on, but I'll be going live later on TikTok. So with that being said, I'll see y'all in there.
Well, there's one more topic that I want to talk about. You know, you have to have a Stephen Curry mentality. Meaning what? Well, dude, originally, whenever Stephen Curry was doing what he was doing, people saw it as absolutely deplorable. They didn't think that he would be able to be successful because he's taking attempts for 3-pointers from the half court. And people are like, bro, you're not supposed to do that, man. You ain't supposed to play like that. And you know why? Because they made one man the foundation of basketball to where they weren't allowing any newcomers to change the game. You see, a lot of people complain about the game, but is that actually beneficial to improving your game? No. You see, instead of complaining about the game and wishing for the rules to change, what you have to understand is you can't change the rules to a game that you didn't create. So all you can do is be a game changer. And that's exactly what Stephen Curry did. Dude, they were losing 36 to 84 at halftime today. Do you think that Stephen Curry isn't going to go out next game and still not take 36 three-point attempts? Absolutely not. He lost a lot before he started winning. And that's what a lot of people don't understand, homie. LeBron James lost a lot too. Dude, LeBron James is the only player I know. Y'all want to talk about triple-double. For those of you that don't know, and I'm not surprised if you don't, basketball is really irrelevant. No one really cares. But triple double is whenever you have double digit stats in 3 different categories. Well, there's a lot of great players that did that for a game, did that for a season. LeBron James has a triple double in his career stats. So guess what? He didn't stop trying to win whenever he lost. He kept on winning. And a lot of you will sit back and worship him. Instead of worshiping a man, take the game from him and apply it to your life, and you're going to be able to be victorious, homie. You see, a lot of y'all get lit down because you look up to people. A lot of you get lit down because you look up to people. So when they bring you up on their shoulder, eventually their shoulder is going to get tired and they're going to put you down. That's the reason why you got lit down, homie. You expected a human to be able to have timeless strength, and that doesn't work. The only person that won't wither and shrivel is God, homie. So what you have to understand is everything that came out of the ground will return to the ground. No. Everything that came out of the ground will return there. So with that being said, homie, what you have to understand is most people, actually all people, are temporary. And a lot of people that come into your life are going to be temporary. But you can't be making permanent decisions for your life's mission based off of temporary people. They all serve a purpose. And once they get done serving it, guess what? You got to move on, man. But a lot of you can't move on because you're looking for closure. Homie, when it's time to close the store, you can't be looking for customers to close the doors. Otherwise, the store will be open forever. You open and you close your own doors. So quit looking for closure in other people. And guess what? Become your own closer. You know what I'm saying? What you got to say about that, Kane?
Yeah, no, that's 100% facts, man. A lot of people sit around and they look to other people for this, that, and the third. This is the thing that people don't understand is that whenever you were born into this life with nothing. Nothing. You ain't even had no clothes. You were brought into this world with nothing. So it will be when you leave this world. So when you sit back and think about it, what's the point of doing all this stuff for something that you can't even take with you when you leave? Cool. It might be cool to have it while you're here, But if you can't take it with you forever, there's no point in selling yourself out. There's no point in doing all these things to obtain something that you can't even hold on to forever. It's all in vain. And people don't realize that the things that they're chasing in life are in vain. Don't chase things that are in vain because your life will end up being in vain. Instead, chase something that's eternal. Chase something that's eternal, which is eternal life, the one who gives it to you, which is the Lord Jesus Christ. And with that being said, I'm out.
Yeah, man. Say, man. Kane said that, man. And look, I would love to give another topic, but guess what? We gave y'all a lot more flavor than usual. And for the time being, well, mainly whenever I go live during this time of night, we're going to make these episodes a little bit longer. You know what I'm saying? You'll get one a night. And then throughout the daytime, if I find time, meaning that I, up to speed in the acceleration of the completion of my goals, then I'll be able to do, additional lives throughout the day. But for the time being, this is the new normal. You know what I'm saying? You have to have adaptability and compatibility with the game, homie, because I do what I do regardless of what you don't. So with that being said, make sure each and every single one of you send me a message immediately on TikTok so I can send all of you my Snapchat. That is the best way to talk to me and know when I'm going live and to stay up to date with the content. And I'm here to tell you that on my Snap story, on a daily level, you will see content about God. You will see content about Jesus. So if you only want to sit there to hear the, artificial music, you want to sit there and listen to all this, guess what? I got news for you. That's the news for you. Don't snooze on me. So with that being said, man, I'm going to pass the mic over to Kane. Let him say what he got to say. And then we are going to go ahead and get out of here. And make sure all of you go follow him immediately so you can be able to be notified when he goes live. And this will be the only episode of tonight. Like I said, this will be the new longer one. And I will get some additional ones done throughout the day. I can't say every day, but I'm going to do my very best. So with that being said, you can expect multiple lives during the day. But hey, man, that's tomorrow. We're worried about right now. You know what I'm saying? Like Justin Bieber say, I'm right here. So with that, and shout out to Justin Bieber, by the way, 30 years old, man. A lot of people don't make it to see that age, especially the way that he was treated in this industry. So shout out to Justin Bieber, man. You know what I'm saying? I really rock with him. I don't worship these celebrities. He's a human. But guess what? That dude was a huge part of my childhood, and that is what taught me so much about Keisha's, is because I was the biggest Keisha in my life back when Justin Bieber first came out. I was so mad at him. Even though I didn't know him, I wasn't mad at him. I was mad at myself. Yeah. I was mad at myself that I didn't have the game to get the ladies. They had their attention on a real one. So shout out to Justin Bieber. He elevated me. So I understand that I'm the Justin Bieber to a lot of you Keishas out there. So get mad, man. Don't be mad, man. Don't be mad. I'm your dad. I got swag. Hey. So with that being said, Kane, what you got to say, man? Send us off with some words of wisdom, man. La 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 la.
Y'all share with your friends, your families, mummies, your aunties, your grannies, and everybody else that y'all know. Keep your head up, man. Keep your faith strong. Stay planted in your faith. Stay grounded in your faith because it's important. And stay monitoring what your children watch, listen to, and play. That's 100% facts. And what they learn in school because they be trying to trick your kids in school as well. With that being said, I'm out. Deuces.
What about my phone, fool?